Alright guys, today we're going to talk about effectively writing a power paragraph. I'm going to sort of save a lot of the philosophy of why we do it. I know I've kind of talked to a lot of you guys about that already. The gist is it's going to make you write a better paragraph, but I'll expand on that in real life. The point of today is to give you some notes that you can sort of go at your own pace. You can pause, rewind, and then after you work through them a little bit, ask me some questions. All right, so step one, what we're going to do is we're going to take an entire sheet of paper and we're going to write P-O-W-E-R. The reason why we take an entire sheet of paper is even if you take your sheet of paper and you write like this, real big, and let's say your actual handwriting is like this size, and you can even probably barely see it on my screen. Even if your actual handwriting is that size, it gives you room between the lines to sort of rework stuff. Because I'll tell you guys this a lot, but I don't really like erasing ideas. I like sort of like crossing them out a little bit so you always know what you wrote before. Because if you write something, those are fake words, and then you take your eraser and then you're like, I actually like that better, then you don't have it. So I like having a lot of space. So you're going to use an entire sheet of paper per paragraph. If you haven't written that on your page already, feel free to pause right now. I'm not going to slow down and awkwardly stare at the camera because you guys have a pause button in front of you. All right, so basically the point of the P is to present your topic to the audience. We're going to sort of forget about the actual wording of the poster. That if you're doing this in my room right now, there's the blue one that's above the windows. I think it's the second window. I don't know. I'm doing this at home, but actually I do know. It's the second window because you got Michael Jordan in the corner. Anyway, focus, Dunlap. All right, so you also, if you look over by the chalkboard, there's a poster with the purple background that's more clear and just sort of tells you exactly what to do. So the point of the P is to give your audience the topic of what you're talking about. So if I were to do an example paragraph answering the prompt, describe one good thing about school. Simple paragraph, right? So basically, or simple topic. So what we're going to do in the P then for a topic is I'm going to, write this in a different color. I like purple. What I'm going to do in the P is I'm just going to simply answer the prompt right away for the audience. If you've learned fancy effective writing stuff like how to write a hook and make the beginning of a piece of writing appealing to an audience, we're going to forget that really temporarily, because right now our whole goal is to just construct a good chunk of text, and then we go back and add the hook once we know what our topic's about. So we're going to work with the hook and all that, so don't let that confuse you if you know that. All you're doing in the P is you're looking at the prompt and you're answering the prompt. So I'm going to literally steal the language of the prompt, and it's going to come off pretty simple sounding now because I made a simple prompt to just make it easy. One good thing about school is elective classes. I won't say English class just because it sounds like I'm just, I don't know, being biased toward my own class. All right, so one good thing about school is elective classes, right? So there's your answer, ba-bam. We'll work on compound sentences and make it more complicated, but for the purpose of today, we have answered the prompt, right? The P is usually pretty straightforward. Just make sure you're not asking a question. Make sure you're answering a question. I'll write that word up here. So again, if you need to pause at any point, I think it's a good idea to write down everything I have up here. If you're in my room and you want to color code it and you want to pause and go in the back corner and steal some markers or colored pencils, crayons probably look a little sloppy. But yeah, do your thing, guys. Do what will work for you to make this an accessible document for you. All right, so now we're going to think of in the O. It stands for offer, but really what we're doing is we are offering a reason why we're correct. So here, that's our goal. Is just give a reason why elective classes are good. So I'm going to say something like, why do we like electives? We like electives for a lot of reasons. So I could go way more complicated than power paragraph. All right. So elective classes are the best because students get the opportunity to participate in activities specific to their interest. I don't love the way I worded this, but this is a rough draft, y'all. So that's the whole point of the thing, right? Is to just get your ideas on paper. So what I like about a power paragraph is that it keeps you on track. Because if I were just writing, I mean, you guys, it's only October 2nd. You guys in my class, y'all have heard me talk. I will say things that just suddenly have nothing to do with anything. I'll say something over here, over here. We did an open house last week, and some of your parents were looking at me like, what the heck is this dude talking about now? But then what I did for me was I would refer back to my notes and put something on the screen for them and sort of remain organized. That's what this does. This keeps you organized, right? So if I were just writing, if you were like, write 8 sentences about electives, I would be like, I used to do band, and band was fun because I like music. But wait, PE was cool because I could get all my energy out. And then I wish I had room in my schedule to take art because I really like art, even though I'm not that good at it. The other thing that's cool about PE is you learned a bunch of health stuff, and sometimes we got to do fun projects. You see, I'm like all over the place. What the power paragraph does is it allows you to expand about a specific topic, a specific reason, right? So your W is where you use a specific example. Scoop. So I like sound effects too. So what we are always going to start with is we are going to start with, for example, with a comma after it. I say always, but you know, rules are made to be broken. Like, eventually we're going to switch up and maybe say like, for instance, comma, but we'll work on a bank of transition words. So it's not a today problem. For today, though, we're going to start with for example, because it lets our audience know that a specific example is coming down the pipe for them, right? So for example, so what I do, what I love about the power paragraph is it keeps me on track, because to do a specific example here, I need to reread. I'm messing up caps lock. All right, it's a specific example of the O. So I need to reread what I've written already in order to keep this on track. It makes you do the thing that teachers always made me do because they were right. They were like, reread your writing, but I never knew like when to reread it. Sometimes I would just reread it after I had started staring at something shiny on the wall. I'd be like, oh, this is a good point to reread the thing. Or I'd wait till all the way when I was finished, right? So this, to make a good W, I have to go read my P and my O. All right. So it says, one good thing about school is elective classes. Elective classes are the best because students get the opportunity to participate in activities specific to their interest. So now my W is going to be specifically related to a student interest. I'm going to say, for example, students who love music are able to participate in, which one am I going to pick? Let's just say band, because that's what I did. I get cut off a little bit. I don't know. You know that says band. That's a D on the end. Just stick with me. I'll do it because it's bothering me. All right. Students who love music are able to participate in band, which you wouldn't capitalize band. It's just doing that because format, which allows them to express their creativity. That's okay. So here's what on my paper, right? I would cross this out. I'm not smart enough to know is it Control S to strike through? No, I don't know how to do it in Google Docs. But on a real paper, I would just cross out participate in band. I like this better. Chorus or orchestra. I like that version better. Gives me a little more detail. Now, if I were expanding more, I could expand about one specific idea. But the point of what I'm doing today, and I like making these up as I go along because it shows you guys that I can do this about any topic, right? But I've been doing this a while. It's new to you guys. I've been doing this for years. I'm getting old. All right. So as we reread it, we've got a specific example. Feel free to pause at any point. Reminder, pause if you need to. We've got a specific example in the W that supports the O. So now the E is where we're going to explain. The way we're going to explain, we're going to do two things. We're going to say this. And just trust me on the wording, y'all. Some of y'all are really good at explaining stuff, and you're like, why do I have to do it like this? You just do for now because it works. It's just one of those things where, like, a math teacher is like, don't skip the steps because it's going to help. And you're like, why do I have to show all the work? You just do sometimes, all right? You're going to start with this proves. You can change it to demonstrates if you want. We'll do that eventually. This proves your topic of the paragraph. Because, and that's when you ramble and explain yourself, right? So what this does, I gave you an example if you were here the other day when we did stations in small groups, where I said that anytime a human explains themselves, they are like 95% going to use the word because. Whether you're like a boss, whether you're a kid, whether you're a young adult, whatever. It's like, Mr. Dunlow, you know, I need to go to my locker because I left my something or another in there. My 4-year-old's like, yeah, I need a snack right before I go to bed because I'm hungry. Even though the real reason is because I'm stalling and I don't want to go to bed. All right, this proves the topic of the paragraph because, so what I'm going to say is this proves. And then again, I have to go reread my actual writing. So I'm going to steal from the P. I'm going to say, this proves that elective classes are a great part of school. See how I'm phrasing it a little different, but I'm basically saying the same thing. Because students have more fun in those classes and they don't have to take SOL test. I want to show you something. This is a real reason why elective classes are better. But what you don't want to do in the E is introduce new stuff you haven't talked about yet. So you don't give new examples in the E. So I haven't talked about SOL tests at all. So I would cross that out. And more fun in those classes. And do things they're interested in. I don't love that word choice. Some of y'all are probably looking right now and you're like, wait a second, things is a really non-specific word. You're absolutely right. But for the purpose of my power chart, I'm trying to get ideas on the page that I can work with. All right. So then the R, again, feel free to pause if you need to. The R is where you restate P. The sneaky word I like to use, I'll write this down. This is the word, switch from purple to pink, is therefore. I like using therefore because it makes you sound more professional. It's a sneaky little way to professionalize your writing. It's the difference between being like, you know, that's all I have to say at the end, and therefore, blah, blah, blah. Oh, I got to scroll down a little bit. Scoop. You have the P written down, hopefully. I already rewind if you don't have the P written down. All right. Therefore, but I actually need to go up and read the P real quick because that's the only way to do the R. So I can see my R right now, but it's cut off on your screen. Sorry. All right. Therefore, elective classes are one of my favorite parts of the school day. So I kind of said almost the same thing in the P, the E, and the R, but I said it differently. So now my whole paragraph, I got a good 5-sentence paragraph. One good thing about school is elective classes. Elective classes are the best because students get the opportunity to participate in activities specific to their interest. For example, students who love music are able to participate in band, chorus, or orchestra. This proves that elective classes are a great part of school because students have more fun in those classes and do things they're interested in. Therefore, elective classes are one of my favorite parts of the school day. All right, so your 3 options for what's next at this station. Now, if you're watching this in, like, on your own time, then for extra reinforcement, feel free to do any of these, or you may be using this for an assignment you're doing right now. I'm talking about if you're in the station we're doing today, the day I created this in class. So what's next? Revise an existing paragraph. Yeah, hey, I'm recording a video. Can you give me 30 seconds? All right, cool. All right, you can revise an existing paragraph. Yeah, I decided to do this in the morning. I thought that'd be better. Okay, I'm focused. All right, revise an existing paragraph you have and check for these specific things, right? Or you could answer the prompt below. The good thing about school. Or you could come ask a question of somebody getting paid to be in the room today. All right, so that's what's next for you. I hope this helped. Let me know what questions you guys have. If you're at home doing this, shoot me an email, and if I see it, or I'll get it when I see it. All right, cool. See you guys.